Halo, ini sama siapa saya? Bagus ya? Apa saja? Apa? Halo?
Join us in structuring the future, not only through trusted certification, but also by fostering continuous learning, enabling knowledge sharing, and building meaningful collaborations that empower individuals, institutions, and communities to thrive in an ever-evolving world. Together, we are shaping a stronger tomorrow. ITC. Confidence for everyone. Empowering confidence through knowledge and certification. Founded in 2004, ITC began with a vision: confidence for everyone.
Oke, selamat siang, good afternoon, Bapak Ibu. How are you today?
Alhamdulillah, good Mbak Dini.
Halo Ibu Mudia, Bu. Alhamdulillah.
Betul Mbak Dini.
Okay, so I'm hoping that I can see your pretty faces, Bapak dan Ibu. So I hope that you can turn on the camera. I would like to see you because I cannot see you in person. So I'm just seeing you online. I hope that if possible, I can still see you. All right, so welcome back to our TOEIC refresher trainer, Bapak Ibu. Thank you for joining me in this uh, in this afternoon. All right. Okay, so this meeting is recorded, and I hope that the other fellows in throughout Indonesia who are joining us from YouTube can also see me and the presentation later on better. Thank you for joining us again. All right, so before I start, let me share my screen. Hmm. Okay, Bu Mudi. I hope you get recovered very soon, ya, Ibu. It's
Amin.
okay. For those who cannot turn on the camera, it's okay. But for those who are available and can comfortably showing your um beautiful faces, please turn on the camera. All right. So again, welcome to our TOEIC 2025 refresher webinar for teachers. This is the second session. Today, this morning, we had a very interactive session, yeah, with the other English teachers from Indonesia, and hopefully we can have the same, pretty much the same active participations from you, Bapak Ibu, in this afternoon session. Excuse me. All right, so let's start today session. It's a toy refresher session. Before I start, may I know who's taken the TOEIC test before? Ada yang sudah pernah mengambil tes TOEIC sebelumnya?
Saya sudah Mbak Dini. I have
You have taken the test ya Ibu Mudi ya? Okay, are you happy with the result?
se.
When did you last take it, Ibu?
It's about 1 year ago.
Okay, so it's pretty recent, yeah. It was last year. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, anyone else has taken the TOEIC test before? Please raise your hand. I would like to see if you have taken the TOEIC test. Have you known the test before? Please try to give a virtual reaction. Kalau di kelas on site saya bisa langsung lihat ada yang tunjuk tangan gitu ya. But now because I cannot see you in person, I hope that you can show me like a virtual reaction. Siapa yang sudah pernah mengambil tes TOEIC sebelumnya? Okay, so if you personally have not taken the TOEIC test before, but have your students, yeah, taken the test before, participated in the previous SMK English Challenge last year or probably before, boleh tunjukkan reaction, virtual reaction-nya. Ada yang sekolahnya sudah pernah mengikuti TOEIC sebelumnya? Ibu Mudi dari sekolah mana, Ibu?
Dari
Bu
SMKN
Hera.
12 Mbak Dini, maaf.
Okay, SMK 12. Okay. So I hope so I hope today will be a good beneficial session for you, Bapak Ibu, because if this is your first time taking the TOEIC test or knowing the TOEIC test, So I hope that it will be a good session. All right. So thank you again for joining. Okay, Buhera, your school has got the test, have taken the test. Okay, twice. All right. So you're familiar with the test. Have you taken the test before? You yourself, Ibu Hera? Hello, Ibu Mila. Okay, you've taken the test. All right. So, okay, again, welcome everyone to the TOEIC refresher session today. My name is Dinila Rasati. I'm from International Test Center, and our vision and mission is pretty much simple. It's confidence for everyone because we sincerely hope that those who have taken our programs and services in ITC will we hope that we can help boost your confidence, yeah, your students' confidence, especially in competing with the global workforce. Thank you again for joining. My name is Dini. I'm a course consultant, a trainer, also an ETS approved instructor for the TOEIC listening and reading tests. And I'm also a business resource manager in the International Test Center. So it's good to see you. Welcome to our session today. And this is the agenda for today. We're hoping that we can cover all this for agenda. So we're going to talk about the TOEIC test. What is TOEIC test? Makanan apa? Benda apa? Like ini gitu ya. TOEIC test. TOEIC users in Indonesia, TOEIC listening and reading format, TOEIC listening and reading sample test. All right. So, as you may know, the TOEIC test, the C is actually the communication, right? Test of English for international communication. It is the global standard for English language proficiency and communication, especially in the force or workplace English. Workplace and everyday situations. So, this is a standard, meaning that if you take the TOEIC test here in Indonesia and also in Japan, with the same score, it carries the same standard. It carries the same meaning of the score. So um, it is globally accepted, okay, internationally recognized. And the test itself, as I mentioned, is a test for international communication. The test is used to measure the ability of non-native English speakers like us, Indonesians, yeah, to communicate using English in the workplace and everyday life. It is valid. The test is valid for 2 years. It is globally recognized, and also it has workplace settings in the test because, as we mentioned, it's about communication. It's used widely in the workplace, in our everyday life. So, if you don't use it for in your daily basis, maybe in 2 years the score will decrease. But if you from now on to the next 2 years, you'll be using it heavily. You use it most of the time. You use the language for presentation or stuff. Of course, the maybe the score or the your proficiency will be better, will increase. So that's why it's only valid for 2 years. So the TOEIC itself is used for many, um, actually for many things, right? We can do it for assessment, okay? Um, we use it mainly for recruitment also in Indonesia, evaluation program. So if you want to make sure that the program runs well or not, if it's better in terms of the result and everything, we can use the TOEIC test also. We're having it for measurement. Yeah, scholarships and enrollment in some countries also use the TOEIC test, right? And the last one is for promotion or career building, meaning that those who are actually working in Pertamina perhaps and they want to be promoted, they will be using the TOEIC test again to make sure that actually your what is it? Your competence, your proficient in English can help you with your daily tasks. And that's why the TOEIC test itself is used widely in corporates as well. TOEIC has a family. We call it TOEIC family because it's tied to each other, or they're connected to each other, but they have different advantages. We have the TOEIC Bridge test that measures English language proficiency for beginner to intermediate learners. We have also TOEIC listening and reading tests, and the last one we have TOEIC speaking and writing tests. So meaning that TOEIC itself measures your four skills. Yeah, it assesses your four skills. But for those for your students, they will be tested with the TOEIC listening and reading test because that's the one that widely accepted in the workplace and corporates and stuff. But again, it's four skills. So for those probably your students who have taken the test and got 990 and they want to challenge themselves, they can of course take the TOEIC speaking and writing test. Okay. Excuse me. So the test delivery can be both paper-based and computer-based, but this one for the program, SMK English Challenge, will be using the computer-based test. The duration is for the listening is 45 minutes, and for reading is 75 minutes, total 120 minutes. The score is from 5 to 495 for both listening and reading. So to combine the combination, the total is 10 to 990. And this is a sample official score certificate for your students. So you can see that there's the picture of your students, and then there's a barcode that can help verify whether the score certificate is valid or official or not. And this is the TOEIC Can Do level table, meaning that it carries information of what actually your students can do in general, meaning that it's not a personal report, but it's in general. Meaning that, for example, if we got a 605, yeah, in our listening and reading test, we can understand these items. And this is the receptive skill. But in production, we might be able to adapt language use for different audiences in most cases, make short or formal presentations if prepared, discuss topics of general interest using non-elaborate structure. So this is the what is it? How do I say it? Possibilities of what you can do. Cerminan apa yang bisa dilakukan secara aktif ya, speaking and in both in speaking and writing. Okay. All right. So yeah, and the minimum for basic working proficiency, we set it on the 605, meaning that if you can get better scores, it will be beneficial, of course, for you because the higher the score is, the better of proficiency, of course. Okay. We have some users, many actually, only portrayed some of them here, but we have many users in Indonesia. These are just some examples of the TOEIC users used for recruitment. For example, we have here Pelita Air, ya, untuk flight attendant. Di sini skornya 405, and for captain or pilot, for A320 minimumnya adalah 700 ya for the TOEIC test. Why it's different? Because they have different tasks. They have different jobs. The captain might need to speak to the ATC, right? They will be speaking English. Yeah. They do not only to Indonesian ATC ya, as traffic controller, tapi kalau dia ke luar negeri ya, they need to speak the language to other ATC, right? The flight attendant will be using English as well, but the level of difficulty is different. We have also Gulf here, who's putting TOEIC for the job. One of the job requirements is 750 for the TOEIC score. For for their job recruitment. Garmin also 750. It really depends on the heaviness of your the use of English in your daily tasks, in your day-to-day activities in the workplace. So if you're probably entering like an entry job, the requirements might not be too high. It really depends on what your roles, your tasks, your what is it, job descriptions and stuff. So that's why there's no pass and fail in the TOEIC test. Okay, this is also Pertamina. TOEIC is heavily used also in Pertamina and its subholdings. Okay, we have TOEIC for BUMN here. Many banks and also other BUMNs that's using TOEIC for the recruitment, also for corporates. Yeah, we have back then we have ISMA, but I'm not sure if it's available now. But hopefully will be available again in the future. These are the universities that accept TOEIC tests. We have TOEIC also used in universities and higher education, and also in polytechnics. So the use of TOEIC is very what is it? Um, Global. Yeah, it's accepted globally, and yeah, it's some of the users of our TOEIC test. Now, moving on to the TOEIC test format. Okay, we have the updated TOEIC test format. We have the TOEIC listening section and TOEIC reading section. Um, the TOEIC listening sections has 4 parts. Yeah, listening comprehension, 100 items with photographs, question response, conversations, and talks, up to 100 items. And we have a TOEIC reading section where we have incomplete sentences, text completion. We also have single passages and multiple passages for the reading comprehension. So total questions is 100 items. Okay. And there's no pass or fail. There's always an opportunity to get a job for every score range. The total score is from 10 to 990. Now let's start with our part 1, the listening test part 1, photographs. We have 6 sentences or 6 questions on photograph. Yeah. You have A, B, C, D, and you need to choose which one is the best sentence that best describes the photograph, right? Now, before we start, I will show you this picture. Okay. In the chat box, I would like you to type, okay, what you see in this picture. What are the nouns? Nounsnya dulu ya, nggak usah kalimat lengkap. What do you see in this picture? Oke, luggage katanya dari SMK Penerbangan Bakti Nusantara. Oke, that's where-nya ya, but I would like you to tell me the nouns. Kata bendanya apa sih? What do you see in the picture? Lounge, bottle, okay. What else? Sandals, chair, okay. Man, woman, chairs, bag, luggage, phone, watch, suitcase. Okay, so those are the nouns. Airport. Okay, so for those who mentioned airport, why do you think they are in the airport right now? What makes you think and guess or assume that they are in an airport? Okay, waiting room, luggage. Because of the luggage, okay. The vibes? Okay. Do you think the big window on the back is also like giving you a clue? Usually in the airport, you see like a huge window where you can see planes, yeah, the runway and stuff. So yeah, I think that's actually one of the biggest clues, right? Well, yeah, the big window and the seat with the luggage. Okay. All right. Thank you, Ibu, Lina, and the others who have answered the questions. So that's the nouns that you can see. What about the verb? What is the verb? What can you guess from this picture? Sitting. Okay. Good. Call. Okay. Sit. Call. Wait. Okay. Waiting. Laugh. Smile. Okay. Right. So those are the verbs. Well, you mentioned the airport. That's probably the setting, yeah, where they are right now. Speak. Okay. Leaning. Okay. Good. Now let's try to listen to um breathing. Yeah, they should be breathing. Otherwise, they might be not there. All right. So let's listen to the audio. Um. Okay. Are you ready?
Number 4. Look at the picture marked number 4 in your test book. A,
They're resting in a waiting area.
B,
They're boarding an airplane.
C,
They're waiting in line.
D.
They're packing a suitcase.
What is the answer? A. Okay. Mostly said A. Anyone else has another answer? It's okay to be different, right? Semuanya jawab A ya. Let's take a look at this text.
Number 4. Look at the picture marked number 4 in your test book. A,
They're resting in a waiting area.
B,
They're boarding an airplane.
C,
They're waiting in line.
D.
They're packing.
Okay, masih sama ya, walaupun sudah melihat teksnya. Right, the right answer
Suitcase.
for this question is A, the resting in a waiting area. But your students might be distracted by the word airplane because they knew already it's in the airport, right? They might be thinking maybe B if they don't listen to the word exactly, right? They're boarding an airplane. It's wrong because boarding an airplane usually meaning that you're already like, waiting to be admitted to the airplane, right? Apa sih namanya garbarata ya, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, yeah, the answer for this question is A. All right. Good work. The second picture. What do you see in this picture? What are the nouns? Nounsnya dulu ya. Living room, okay. Dining table, dining room. Okay, jadi living room or dining room? Frame, chair, pictures, flowers. Okay, those are okay. Vase, yeah. Table, carpet, yes. Cup, all right. Dish, rug, good one. Painting, right. Plants, okay. Alrighty. So, you've listed all the nouns that you can see in the picture. What about the verb? Can you share any verbs perhaps in this picture? Lies, okay. All right, so hang, centered. All right, good. Um, All right. So sometimes in the TOEIC test, in the picture photograph section, most of the time we see activities of people doing things, but you can also see pictures like this where there's no one doing anything or activities and stuff. It's just a picture of a room or a situation and stuff. So yeah, no one doing anything, right? So focus on the table. All right, there is, that's also something that we can think of. Right, so let's listen to the audio, yeah, and see if you can answer the question.
Number 6. Look at the picture marked number 6 in your test book. A,
A sign is hanging above some artwork.
B,
Plants are arranged on a stairway.
C,
A round table is surrounded by chairs.
D.
An area rug has been rolled up.
Okay. Wah, semuanya, most of you said C. I don't think anyone else has another option. Yeah, another answer. Right. So let's see the text here. Of course, the text is here only because it's a practice test. When you take the TOEIC test, it will not be there. Okay. So yeah, we have A can be eliminated right away because there's no sign at all. Like a sign is hanging above some artwork. We don't see that. Plants are arranged on a stairway. We see plants, but there's no stairway, right? A round table is surrounded by chairs. That's the right answer. And an area rug has been rolled up. So the one, Pak, siapa dari tadi sekolah Probolinggo ya, if I'm not mistaken. You said Probolinggo, right? You said rug, which is a good um, word because it's mentioned here, right? An area rug has been rolled up. Okay, so yeah, the answer for this one is C. Okay, what you can do in the classroom with your students is some of these activities, right? You can do suggestions for picture practice. For the receptive skills, you can ask your students to bring their own photographs, or you can choose a picture. Any pictures can do. And you can ask your students where, who, what, why, when, how, so that your students will have, um, get themselves used to this kind of questions. When they see a picture, they will be easily, maybe not easily, but apa ya, lebih terbiasa untuk melihat, identify what they can see in the picture, and they can try to guess or predict what they will listen in the options, right? That's the receptive skills. While the productive skills, you can ask the students to create two accurate statements, right? Or two partially accurate statements, or two totally wrong statements, right? They can record or read the statements to the classroom. Okay. So if you see this picture, what can you write about the picture? What sentence can you make about the picture? The correct one. Okay. A boy is trying to get something. Yeah, a child is trying to reach something on a shelf. All right. What is the boy trying to reach? Maybe, I don't know. Is it spaghetti or a vase? Yeah, little boy is trying to reach something. Okay. So let's try to make a partially correct or a partially accurate sentence about this picture. Yeah, that's the mostly right? The child is using a chair to reach the shelf. The boy takes something. Okay. Okay, and this activity can be done as well in the classroom, right? You can ask your students to bring their own pictures, or you bring your own pictures and then ask them to try to make or guess two accurate, two partially accurate, or two wrong sentences, right? All right, that's about this picture. And we can also show this to your students. I mean, any picture can do though, but let's see this, the one that I have a blue circle on this on the screen right now. So with this picture alone, we can have different verbs, right? This man is carrying a heavy load. He is sweating. He is struggling. What else? Right? We can have many verbs for only one picture. Okay? So what about the second circle here? What are they doing? What can we guess? What verbs can we use for this picture? Shaking hands, right? Okay. Deal something, yeah, carrying. Okay. They collaborate, they're getting a deal, okay, they're making a deal, right? Okay, so we have so many things to offer to our students. You know, can bring any pictures in the classroom, and then you can ask your students to guess the verbs, try to think of verbs that might be suitable for that picture. Okay, sitting. Yes, yes, yes. All right. So thank you for those who answered these questions on Zoom. I unfortunately cannot see those in YouTube. Perhaps those also your fellow teachers also answer these questions on YouTube. All right. So moving on to the second part, we have listening test part 2, question and response. We have 25 questions. Okay. We have listening only and no text in this part. So there's only number and the multiple choice responses A, B, or C. Yeah, and everything is not written. So there's only like literally the number of the question and A, B, C. Okay, it will be more challenging because no visual aid available for this. So you will listen to questions or statements, and there will be responses. Yeah. Before in the listening part 1, you have 4 options A, B, C, D, but in part 2, you can only listen to 3 um, responses A, B, or C. Okay. We have some distractors in the listening part 2. These are like the common distractors that often appear on the listening part 2. For example, is related words. We have like, does the woman have a bad cough? The nurse has the flu. So usually nurse is a woman, right? So it's related words, but not the answer. Like a bad cough, yeah, related to flu. Biasanya kalau kita batuk, pilek gitu ya. But it doesn't answer the question. Like, does the woman have a bad cough? The nurse has the flu. It's two different situations. Okay. Same sounding words. So we have exactly same sounding words like, do you enjoy driving sports cars? Yeah, I enjoy sports very much. It doesn't answer the question because the question asking whether you like, driving sports cars, kayak mobil balap gitu ya. And the answer, I enjoy sports, so all kind of sports, right? It doesn't answer the questions, but it ada pengulangan, ada repetition in the answer, the option. Okay, similar sounding words. Which department demands a refund? The general commands his troops. So these two are make similar sounding words. Another example, perhaps accept, access, accessories. Things like that that sound similar. Yeah, kayak misalnya see it, something like that. Okay. So wrong information. Did you go to the conference? It's a yes, no questions, and your students might be looking for that clue in the answer. But in this answer, it's a wrong information. Did you go to the conference? It's a past activity. No, I will be busy. It's a future response, right? So it doesn't answer the question. Excuse me. And you can only answer the questions if you understand the questions. If you listen carefully to what the question is, that what question is being asked right now, right? For example, we have WS questions, who, what, when, where, which, how, and we have also yes/no questions like is she, does she, will you, can you, may, have you, things like that. Choice questions, which, rather either that questions, the one that has like isn't it or something in the back at the end of the question. Okay, so these are the questions that usually appear on listening test part 2. We have who, yeah, asking a person or people, like who is she. You can expect a name being mentioned in the options, but of course, it's not always happening like that. So it doesn't always have to answer like a name or something. The answer might be new employee or associated new employee, or perhaps I don't know. We haven't been introduced. Something like that might be also possible, right? What is asking a thing or action? Yeah, what's in the box? What is he doing? So these are the questions that might appear. When is asking a time. When are you leaving for London? Okay. Why? It's a reason. Why did you cancel the order? Because blah 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 blah, or no idea. That might be also useful. How? It's a way something is done, or the way something happens. So how was the test? How did it go? But of course, we have other options with how, other questions with how, I mean, like how many, how much, how long, how far, and stuff. And we have direct and indirect answers to the questions. So for example, like how many participants joining this afternoon session? Someone might say it's only 57 participants joining the session. I might say, oh, it's less than expected. I was hoping to see like 300 teachers today. So those kind of things might be like an answer, right? Direct and indirect. You need to teach your students those, like how much is asking about price, right? Usually, you can answer like the right price. Berapa sih harganya iPhone 16 Pro Max yang terbaru? Ada yang tahu nggak? Ada yang sudah beli jangan-jangan? Well, you can mention the price right away, like perhaps 30 million. I'm not sure. I never buy iPhones, but I can also say, aduh nggak mampu deh gitu ya. We really can't afford it. Aduh jual ginjal dulu kali ya baru kebeli. Something like that. So, yeah, 15 millions. Oh, okay. Is it, Pak? It's it's cheaper than I thought. All right. So maybe you're not sure either. Okay. Okay, so let's these are the things that we can do with our students. We can, train uh uh, you can practice with them, to answer these questions. We also have yes no questions like are you coming? Can you drive a truck? Did you, have you, will you, can you? Those are the things that usually appear on the TOEIC listening part 2. Whoops, sorry about that. And we can have tag questions juga ya di dalam listening part 2. If you have positive statements, that means that you have a negative question. Same thing with negative statements, you have positive questions. So this is tag questions. All right, are you ready with the practice in the listening part 2? Hopefully you are, okay? Biar nggak ngantuk, kita coba play di audionya ya.
Number 15.
Why is this door unlocked?
A. Because I've just unlocked it.
B,
It's by the front door.
C,
No, not usually.
Okay, what is the answer? A. Okay. What was the question? Do you still remember what is being asked? What was the question? Dengar nggak kata pertanyaannya pertama banget itu apa? Why? Why? Yes, why is the door unlocked? What? Ya, kalau dengar kata why, biasanya kan ada karena gitu ya. Which is mentioned. So why is this door unlocked? A, because I've just unlocked it. It's by the front door. Ada repetition ya, dua kali kata door, the question and the response. But it doesn't answer the question, right? No, not usually. It doesn't answer. So the answer is A, because I've just unlocked it. Kenapa pintunya nggak dikunci? Ya karena baru dibuka gitu, karena baru apa namanya dibuka kuncinya. Okay, so that's for number 15. Let's try the second one.
number 16.
Take your coat with you.
A,
I've never been there.
B,
Is it that cold outside?
C,
Higher than that.
Okay, what about this one? B. Okay, what did you hear? Was it a question or a statement? What did you hear? Take coat with you. Okay, good. So, yeah, it's a statement, right? Jadi kalau di part 2, you might hear questions or statements. Okay? The answer, is it that cold outside? Kan disuruh bawa ininya ya, coat-nya. Apa sih namanya bahasa Indonesia coat? What do we call? What do we say? Coat, mantel, mantel, jaket. Oke. Bawa deh mantelnya sama kamu gitu kan. Terus ditanya dong, is it that cold outside? Okay, so that kind of things happens, right, in our daily life. All right, next one.
number 17.
Where should we go for dinner tonight?
A,
I feel like having Chinese food.
B,
Yes, we really should.
C,
I don't have any problem with it.
Okay, let's see. You mostly said A. We have a B. Okay. So it's A. What was the question? If you answer A, what was the question actually? Where should we have where should we have dinner tonight? Where or how? Mhm. Where should we have where we should have dinner? Okay. Kita coba lihat ya. Where should we go for dinner tonight? Ya, yang penting tuh pertanyaannya jelas ya. Apa nih yang ditanya? Apakah where? Kalau where berarti you expect to get like a location kan, kira-kira di mana, a place ya. When berarti waktu dan lain sebagainya. So, I feel like having Chinese food. Yes, we really should. Ada pengulangan kata should, which is not answering. Where should we go? Iya, kayaknya harus deh. Iya, kemana gitu kan. Okay, so B doesn't answer. I don't have any problem with it. Juga nggak nyambung ya, nggak menjawab, right? So the answer for this one is A. Okay, last one.
number 18.
I thought you were in New Zealand on business this week.
A,
This is the stronger proposal.
B,
My trip was cancelled.
C,
We appreciate your business.
Okay. What did you answer for this one? B. Everyone said B. We have one A. Okay, what was the question? I thought, okay, so it's not a question, it's a response. It's a statement. I thought you were in New Zealand on business this week. Yeah, ada kata, this is stronger proposal. Because you know business, sometimes it's related to proposal, right? It's a distractor for you, right? A is a distractor. We can eliminate that. B is the answer, right? My trip was canceled. Karena kan kalau ngomong di depan langsung kayak, I thought you were in New Zealand on business this week. Kok malah di depan saya sekarang gitu kan ya. Yeah, my trip was canceled. Or we appreciate your business. Enggak juga ya. Ada pengulangan kata business di situ, but it doesn't answer it, right? It doesn't answer the question. The statement, right? You were in Brazil. Yeah, anywhere, but you know apa yang lagi dibahas, right? So it's B. Okay. This listening part 2. What we can do in the classroom with our students, of course, we can train them, to have a statement, right? But then they will need to come up with possible responses. So it doesn't mean there's no right response, only one right response, right? You can have unlimited responses to the statement. I'm afraid you will need to replace this refrigerator. What would you say to respond this? I'm afraid you will need to replace this refrigerator. What would you say to respond to this statement? Teachers, are you there? Any responses are accepted here. What would you say? I think so. Okay, I agree with you. I'll buy the new one. I don't think so. Yeah, that's also a possible response. Well, if I say, but I only bought it 2 months ago, can I do that? Like, baru dibeli 2 bulan yang lalu. Ini kayaknya, aduh, duit dari mana gitu ya, misalnya. Something like that, right? Also, you can have it reversed, right? What are the possible questions for the statement? If the answer is in 2025, I think, what would be, the possible questions? Can you give me ideas of what will be like are you kidding? When will you get married? Oh, okay. What else? When will you get that diploma? When will you go to Bali? Okay. Okay, let's see. What would I say about this statement? When will this workshop ever end? I'm so bored. It's like, okay. When did you buy the refrigerator? Yeah, that's also a question. Okay. All right. All right. So thank you, Bapak Ibu, yeah, for participating in this question and statement. Okay. So these are some teaching ideas that you can do in the class with your students. Yeah, like review yes or no. Yeah, WS question formation and answers in all tenses. Yeah, bisa misalnya what does, those kind of things. Did you yeah, it's yes no questions, WS questions. You can make like games to like the obvious like this. Alternative responses game. So you need to keep it going in the circle. It's a positive response, like yes, sure, indeed, of course, why not? I'd love to, and it's a good idea or anything ya. Jadi terus dia menjawab dengan satu tone yang sama, misalnya yang positive gitu. Turn it on its head. Here is the response. Now, what was the question or statement? gitu ya. Misalnya kayak tadi yang kita buat ada pertanyaannya, lalu ada what is it, the possible-nya, responsesnya. Can say yes, no, nor maybe game. Jadi ini nggak boleh jawab yes, no, or maybe. Itu harus pilih jawaban yang lain gitu ya. Do it yourself. Students create their own test items, yeah, to test each other. And speed role play, like quickly changing the situation. Misalnya apa namanya ya, kita bikin role play di kelas, bikin question and statements, terus satu questions, nanti ada beberapa possible responses. Yeah, those kind of things that we can do in your classroom. All right, so moving on to the part 3, yeah, short conversations. We have 39 questions with 13 conversations and 3 questions for each conversation. Ya, jadi satu conversation will cover 3 questions. And it's different from part 4, where in part 3, you will listen to conversations, meaning that there will be minimum of 2, but maybe more than 2 people, right, joining the conversation. While in part 4, it is a one-way communication. So it's something like you hear in what is it? Announcement, right? When you're in at the airport or where else? Yeah, places or radio announcement, radio advertisement and stuff. That what you can hear in part 4. But in part 3, you'll be listening to conversations. Okay. The conversations in part 3 may include more than 2 speakers. Jadi makin rame ya. Kita nggak cuma dengar men and women. Sometimes it's 2 men, 1 woman, or 2 women, 1 man, and stuff like this. Like ordering food in a restaurant, perhaps, but it's in a dialogue manner. Sorry, excuse me. Okay. Right. So, what I want you to do right now is to actually listen to the audio that I'm going to play, but I want you to enjoy the material. I mean, I want you to enjoy the listening, the audio, right? Without having to think about, I mean, you need to think about the answers, but you don't need to read the options right now. Okay. You can read the answers, what are the speakers discussing, what's the problem, what will the man probably do next, but do not look at the options first. I'm just checking whether you will understand and still can answer the questions or not if you don't listen to or if you don't read to the options, right? So I'm going to play the audio. Are you ready, Bapak Ibu? May I see some virtual reactions? I just need to make sure that you're awake, you're not asleep, because it's, after lunch, usually the food heads in. um, okay, so, okay, so I'm going to play, yeah, what is it? The audio. Yeah, you need to ask yourself these questions like, where are the speakers? What are they doing? What is their relationship? Yeah, who are these people? Things like that. Keep asking that in your mind while listening to this audio, right?
41 through 43 refer to the following conversation.
Is that the menu for the employees' cafeteria? I want to see what they're serving for lunch today.
I think this is yesterday's menu. They have a different one for each day of the week, you know. They always post it on the employee website.
Oh, thanks. I'll go to the website and get today's menu.
Number 41. What are the speakers discussing? Number 42. What is the problem? Number 43. What will the man probably do next?
Alrighty, so can you answer the questions without having to look at the options? So what are the speakers discussing? Menu, about the menu. Okay. Today's menu. Alright. Jadi lagi ngebahas itu ya soal menu. Oke, kenapa? What is problem? Okay, they're talking about the menu, but what is the problem? The man has to look the menu in the website. Yeah, why? Why does the man have to uh, uh, look at the menu in the website? Because the menu was on website. Because the menu, okay, the new menu was on the website. Okay. The man doesn't know what menu today because they have different menu. He will check the website. Okay. So they have each day they have the restaurant has or the yeah, the cafe or the restaurant has a different menu, right? Okay. What will the man probably do next? Ini kayaknya udah jelas ya. He will check or go to the website, okay, to check on the menu. So now let's try to answer the question. Coba 41 apa jadi jawabannya? What is the answer? 41. The different menu and solution. Yeah. C, right? Right. So you don't have to actually look at the options, but you can still answer the question because you listened and you focused on the audio, on the listening audio, right? So it doesn't distract you, ya kan? Tidak mengganggu sambil dengar sambil baca. Okay. What about this one, number 42? What is the answer for 42? D. The man has outdated information, right? Jadi karena menunya ini tuh menu kemarin ya, outdatednya di situ. Menu kemarin, hari ini beda lagi menunya. Terus gimana dong? What will the man probably do next, right? I guess you will answer this correctly. It's B, right? Okay, so there are questions that you need to, you know, infer or summarize gitu ya. Kira-kira apa sih yang lagi dibahas? Something that is not stated directly, right? What is the problem? Ini biasanya paraphrasing. Masalahnya apa? Tadi kan dibilang, what was the speaker telling us? Yeah, it's something to do with the menu kan. Oh, I guess it's yesterday's menu katanya si perempuan gitu kan, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, this is a paraphrasing thing, ya kan, yang kita harus ajarkan juga ke para siswa. And what will the man probably do next? Ini sesuatu yang literal ya, bukannya tersirat, tersurat karena memang disebutkan gitu ya. Dia akan visit a website. Okay. All right. So, in the TOEIC test, in our life, actually, not in the TOEIC test, but it's somehow adopted in the TOEIC test. Yeah. While we listen to something, misalnya kita dengar rekan kita lagi bicara atau lagi di kelas dengerin guru menjelaskan, selain mendengar, ada bacaannya juga, gitu kan ya. Ada teksnya juga. Mungkin ada di dalam table atau di map atau di graphic, ya. Something that is integrated, ya. Your listening and reading skills are integrated in one set of questions. Ya, for example, like this one, ini ada conversation, kita harus dengerin, but also there's a table, yeah, where we need to look at and read, the table, the content, while trying to answer the questions juga. Okay, so I believe it's something that might be challenging for your students, but as long as you train them, I mean, you give enough practices And in daily lives, we do it often, right? Sambil denger, tapi sambil harus baca juga. Yeah, it's something that we do on our daily basis. They just need to be reminded that you will also face that in the TOEIC test, right? So we'll be listening to this audio in part 3. Yeah, you will listen to the audio and then you will need to also read the table. Okay? You gotta, yang saya biasanya lakukan, at least, sorry, saya akan baca dulu questions-nya apa. Where most likely are the speakers? What does the woman suggest the men do? Okay, look at the graphic. What product does the woman like? That's it. I don't want to, really read on the options because too many words might be distracting me, from the right answers. Jadi, I prefer to listen, try to read the questions aja, and also the graphic or the table or the map if available. Okay, so let's try to listen to the audio. Okay.
Questions 62 through 64 refer to the following conversation and price list.
Hello, Tanya. It's time to select calendars for the coming year, so I'm going around to everyone in the division to get people's preferences. There's a good range to choose from.
Oh, thanks, Dan. But I'm a bit busy right now. Could you check back with me after lunch? Talk to others in the department first. I'll be free then.
This will only take a minute. Just take a quick look at this catalog. Do you like any of these?
Oh, I like this. Simple, no pictures, plenty of space, and it's less than $5.
Number 62. Where most likely are the speakers? Number 63. What does the woman suggest the man do? Number 64. Look at the graphic. What product does the woman like?
Okay, kita sudah mulai menerima jawabannya. Number 62. Maybe next time you gotta answer it with the number as well because I'm like, I don't know. Kita coba dulu ya. 62. Where most likely are the speakers? Kira-kira si speakersnya ini ada di mana sih? Kata Pak Didi 62A. Ya, okay. What is the clue deh, Pak? If you say it's A, yeah, what was the clue? Why did you think it's A? Other division, okay. They are partners. How do you know that? What was the clue? What did you hear in the conversation? Other division, ya benar tadi ada kata apa namanya? Other division. What else? About making calendars. Okay, so if they are making calendars, is it possible that they are in a stationery store or at a printing shop? If the answer is A, right? Ya biasanya memang kalau corporates gitu dia buat kalender, right? Di kantor itu biasanya ada apa namanya awal tahun gitu ya membuat kalender. Okay. But they mentions, division, department, ya kan, something like that. So it's most likely, kan dia bilang most likely, ya. Berarti kemungkinan besar, ya, adalah in an office. Gitu. Jadi bukan di printing shop, ya kan, atau di stationery. Oke, he showed the catalog. Oke. Jadi lagi di kantor nih, ya kan, ada vendor-vendor, ya kan, mau bikin kalender nih, yang mana nih harganya nih katalognya, tuh kan. Tapi tadi ada yang mention, coba cek sama divisi yang lain dulu deh, gitu. Okay, so that's the
4.
clue.
Look at the graphic. What product does the woman like?
Okay, so that's number 62. So they are in an office, right? Number 63, what does the woman suggest the men do? 63, what was What does the woman suggest the men do? B. Okay. Why is it B? Why did you listen? I mean, what did you hear? What did you hear in that conversation? Kayaknya afternoon gak di-mention ya. After lunch, right, Abdul? Right. You heard the word after lunch. Ya, betul. Itulah that's the clue. Okay. Come back after lunch. Yeah. So usually after lunch is after 12 o'clock, so it's already afternoon ya. Jadi ini diganti, kita paraphrasing mainnya di sini. Look at the graphic. What product does the woman like? Yeah, what product does the woman like? Which one? D. What was the clue? C. Yeah, it's less than $5 katanya gitu kan ya. Which one is less than $5? No pictures, simple, no pictures, and it's less than $5 katanya. Okay, so the one that is less than $5 is D. Ya, kalau misalnya yang monthly dashpad itu masih $5 sekian gitu kan ya. The one that is less than $5 is D, Delta. The undated dashpad. Okay, so these are the things. Okay, if you notice the flow of the TOEIC conversation or talk maybe later on, is that there's a flow. Like usually the beginning, I mean the initial conversation will tell you the answer for number one. But again, sometimes it's not like that. It's just two samples that we tried just now has a flow, right? When most likely are the speakers, where does the woman suggest the men? What does the woman suggest the men do? It's in the middle of the conversation. And look at the graphic. What product does the woman like was something that mentioned at the end of the conversation. So there's like a step by step. And if you try to answer question 62 while actually the audio is telling you the answer for 63, you might not get it, right? And that's why I said, okay, why don't we listen to the audio first and then try to answer once it's over, right? So that's something that you need to practice also with your students. All right, the last part in the TOEIC test is the part 4, short talks. Yeah, we have 30 questions, 10 talks, and 3 questions for each talk. It's pretty much the same with the part 3, but this one is different because it's a one-way communication. Yeah, like product presentation, announcement, there's travel information, news, weather, right? And we have radio advertisements. Is it advertisement or advertisements? Both work, right? Voice messages, yeah. Reports. So these are the things that might appear a lot in the short talks in the TOEIC test. You will also listen to audio only like this, right? Also, you can listen to this kind of information, listen and read at the same time. So it's integrated skills once again. Pretty much the same with what we did in part 3. Okay, so I'm not going to do this with you because you already
Questions
know.
95 through 97 refer to the following talk and list.
Okay, so that's about it. But what you need to actually practice is this language focus and conversations and talks, right? You gotta practice you gotta train your students how to understand main ideas, how to get the whole idea of a talk or of a conversation, specific details, right? There are things that are quite specific mentioned in the both talks and conversations. We need to tell them how to do paraphrasing or understanding synonyms, right? Understanding connections or relationships between the two speakers, for example. So this is an example, like speaker mentioned the problem. The problem is that we do not have enough workers. questionnya adalah what caused the problem? Oh, a lack of staff. Yeah, it was a lack of staff was not mentioned in the speaker's conversation, but you know, paraphrasing was done there, right? Not have enough workers, pretty much the same with a lack of staff. So they have also, you can tell your students to do paraphrasing, like she was late, she didn't arrive on time, pretty much the same thing. It was very cold near the top of the mountain, it was freezing near the summit of the mountain and stuff. So these are the things that you can do. Yeah, do some practices with your students. We can also tell them how to do, we can have a practice with them to do inferencing, right? John has been working. Okay, let's just answer this question. Yeah, John has been working at XYZ Corporation for 3 years. He started as an intern in the marketing department and quickly impressed his superiors with his dedication and creativity. So, what is John's current job position at XYZ Corporation? What do you think John is doing now? Is he an intern? Still an intern? Or a full-time marketing associate or unemployed? Most likely B, okay? Right? So he started it as an intern, but with his dedication and creativity, he impressed his superiors, right? So probably right now he's a full-time marketing associate, right? So these kind of things need to be done regularly with your students, right? Like Be My Ears, report on a podcast or lecture. So we play like a podcast or lecture, and then they can be asked to report back, finding what you need. Like we can give pre-listening tasks or activities. Yeah, listen for specific information. We can, read or ask them background, some questions related to an audio, listening audio that they will listen later on. Identify the speaker's setting or subject. We can provide the details. Ya, dia bisa dengerin ini mereka siapa sih, relationship-nya apa, settingnya di mana, kayak tadi kita dengerin kan, apa di kantor atau di printing shop atau di mana, right? What is the subject? CWS questions juga dikerjakan juga, who, where, what, why, when, how, ya. Multitasking, sambil dengar, sambil baca. Nah, itu harus dilatih juga, right? We can give practices with nanti di akhir kita akan berikan TOEIC sample test ya. Say it differently, it's paraphrasing or synonyms gitu ya. Apa sih ngomong yang lainnya? Kalau misalnya saya datang tepat waktu tadi pagi. Saya tidak telat, itu sama aja kan ya, kurang lebih gitu. Jadi itu yang bisa kita latih our students to do before they take the TOEIC test. So these are some general tips for listening. Yeah, Bapak Ibu, because you only have 5 to 8 seconds to answer this question, meaning that if you do not understand or you missed, aduh, tadi itu nomor 3 apa ya gitu. Sedangkan nomor 4 sudah di-play audionya, let it go gitu ya. Ada ilmunya namanya ilmu ikhlas kalau kata mentor saya. Diikhlaskan aja karena memang nggak akan ke-play kedua kali gitu kan ya, but you need to focus on the next questions, right? You cannot get stuck in that question only gitu ya. So you need to focus on the questions that are being played. Hopefully yang lain jawabannya betul gitu ya. Kalau tadi nggak yakin, it's okay. Do not try to go back to previous questions, and if you do not focus on this question as it is being asked, ya, Bapak Ibu atau anak-anak nanti bisa jadi nggak bisa jawab pertanyaan itu aja, tapi next questions juga. And you need to be familiar with the question types, and that's what we're doing today. And hopefully your students will have enough time to look at the examinee handbook and the TOEIC sample test that will be given at the end of the session. And you need to practice predicting. Dari gambar ini kira-kira nanti kalimat yang akan keluar tuh apa. Practice scanning the pictures, practice listening for this, purpose, and context. Practice listening for specific information itu juga perlu, karena kadang ada satu audio listening yang menyebutkan apa namanya jam, misalnya kita ditanyakan satu waktu kapan badainya kira-kira selesai, misalnya gitu ya, laporan cuaca lah. Nah, ada beberapa waktu yang disebutkan, misalnya besok pagi, besok lusa, apa namanya, besok malam, gitu ya, dan lain sebagainya. Itu mungkin akan jadi tantangan juga tuh, karena specific information-nya banyak, tapi which one is the right answer, gitu ya, yang tepat. Practice making an inference, beware of distractors in part 2, because there are so many distractors in part 2 usually, and try to guess, jangan dikosongin ya. Jadi tetap harus diisi. Any questions before we discuss the reading section? Nope. Okay. All right. Okay, so now we're moving on to the part 5 and 6, yeah, in the reading test section. Actually, what is being asked is whether you understand grammar or vocab. Sebenarnya itu aja sih. Part 5 tuh kurang lebih yang diujikan adalah apakah kita memahami grammar mana yang tepat atau vocab mana yang tepat untuk mengisi yang kosong. Jadi kalau part 5 sama part 6 hanya bedanya part 5 from one sentence to another sentence, they are not related ya. I mean, those sentences are not related. The questions in 101 and 102 are not related. But in part 6, text completion, yeah, text completion is a text that needs to be completed, meaning that from one sentence to another sentence actually gives you clues, yeah, related to one another. So, hanya itu perbedaannya. Tapi yang diujikan kurang lebih sama. Your understanding of grammar or vocabulary. What you need to be able to understand or teach to your students is, of course, part of speech. Because as we know that in English, adalah sebuah kewajiban. Wajib ada subjek dan ada verb atau kata kerja gitu ya. Kalau dalam bahasa Indonesia kan ya nggak wajib ya. Misalnya saya mau bilang saya lapar gitu ya. Misalnya dalam bahasa Indonesia it doesn't have a verb, but in English I might say I need to say I'm hungry. The to be is actually the verb, right? So that helps your students to understand. Jadi to be itu sebenarnya verb loh, itu harus disebutkan. Kalau sudah ada verb, nggak usah ada misalnya, oh I believe in you, bukannya I am believe in you, right? I agree with you. I am agree with you. Nah itu sering kita dengar ya. Misalnya apa lagi? Models. I can, will, must, should, gitu ya. Oh, I can swimming. Is it correct or incorrect? I can dancing. Those things need to be taught to your students, ya. Jadi kalau misalnya udah ketemu models, go back to the verb one. Okay. And these are the part of speech that your students need to understand. Nouns itu fungsinya apa? Contohnya apa? Dalam kalimat seperti apa? Adjectives, adverbs. Karena dengan ini, Bapak Ibu, ini akan membantu mereka untuk menjawab pada saat nanti mereka melihat kalimat yang kosong, kalimat yang ada kosongnya gitu. Harus diisi apa nih? Harus diisi adjective kah? Apakah harus diisi adverbs kah? Ataukah ini harusnya verbs gitu ya? Dengan gitu mereka bisa lebih mudah mengisi harusnya. So part of speech, we have pronouns, conjunctions. Ini juga conjunctions banyak ditanyakan gitu ya. Apa dong terus kata sambungnya nih yang tepat gitu untuk mengisi? Apakah misalnya he's tall but slim? Nyambung nggak misalnya? Ya, he's tall and slim ya. Ini masih nggak apa-apa gitu kan, karena emang informasi tinggi dan kurus misalnya gitu. Okay, interjections, articles, kapan kita harus pakai the, an, students juga need to know so that they'll be answering the questions easier. Yeah. Alright, now before I ask you the right answer to these questions, jadi jangan dijawab apakah A, B, C, D dulu ya, Bapak Ibu. I need to know, yang di sebelah kiri layar, a growing blank, ini lagi mengujikan your vocabulary atau your understanding of grammar. Yang sebelah kiri nih, ya, a growing titik-titik-titik, and the cosmetic industry is the use of natural and organic ingredients. What do you think it is? Is it the grammar or vocabulary? Vocab. Oke, why? Kenapa? Semua ini kata apa sih? Product, sense, sale, trend. Ini kata benda kan ya? Oke, so semuanya katanya part of speech-nya sama, kata benda. Nah, tapi kata benda mana yang paling tepat untuk mengisi ini? Sedangkan, ya betul, different words katanya. Sedangkan yang sebelah kanan, ya, pilihan jawabannya responsible, responsibly, responsive, responsibility. So, from root apa sih kata dasarnya ya? Kata dasarnya sama gitu, ya. Jadi yang diujikan ini adalah grammarnya, ya kan? Part of speech mana nih yang perlu untuk mengisi ini gitu. Okay, that's why part of speech become important to your apa namanya pengajaran juga Bapak Ibu karena they need to know mana ini subjeknya, mana ini grammarnya. Sorry, mana itu verbnya gitu ya. Okay, so what is the answer for yang di sebelah? Ini kan udah benar ya, vocab, satu nanya vocab, satu nanya grammar. Sekarang yang vocab, kira-kira apa kata yang tepat untuk mengisi kekosongan di kalimat itu? A growing titik-titik-titik in the cosmetic industry is the use of natural and organic ingredients. Trend, oke, betul ya. Yang lagi apa nih? Yang lagi growing tuh apanya? Produknya kah? Atau trennya? Gitu ya. Trennya tuh lagi meningkat tuh penggunaan bahan-bahan yang alami dan organik. Jadi bukan ya kalau kita baca keseluruhan kata yang paling tepat untuk mengisi yang kosong itu adalah trend. Ya, jadi bukan produknya. Anak-anak mungkin bisa dengan lebih mudah memilih produk karena itu kata yang sering mereka dengar, gitu ya. Jadi ini yang kita harus ajarkan ke mereka juga. Now the second sentence, the Park Service asks visitors to behave titik-titik and show respect for wildlife. What do you think is the subject in this sentence? Subjeknya tuh naon ya, si kalimat kedua ini. Park Service asks visitors to behave. Nah, jawab ya, be responsibly. But what is the subject? Coba deh, mohon maaf Bapak Ibu, saya agak melenceng. Pertanyaannya bukan jawabannya apa yang tepat, tapi subjeknya the Park Service, right? Nah, kadang-kadang tuh anak-anak suka berpikir cuma sampai park aja gitu, the park. Itu subjeknya, padahal satu frase ini adalah the Park Service asks visitors to behave responsibly, gitu kan ya. To behave yang seperti apa, gitu kan, bertindak yang seperti apa, apakah apa namanya, secara bertanggung jawab, gitu kan ya, kalau misalnya yang B, kita bisa pilih yang tepat, jawabannya adalah B. Responsible, kalau responsible mungkin kalimatnya lebih kayak he's responsible for the flood in Jakarta misalnya gitu ya. Responsive. Oh, kalau dia orangnya responsif. Ya, kalau di WhatsApp langsung balas tuh cepat banget gitu. Responsibility is a noun, ya. To behave responsibly adverb to um, describe what kind of behave, ya mau behave yang kayak gimana sih gitu kan, secara bertanggung jawab. Another sample of part 5, there's a printer on page 68 of the blank that I think we should buy. What's the answer? Probably for this question. Catalog. Okay. Okay. Betul ya, karena kalau misalnya menu, ya printer gitu ya, biasanya ada di dalam katalog ya. Setiap bendanya tuh, menu tuh kan lebih ke mungkin makanan. The increase in sales of the new VB401 shows that customers are happy blank this product. Is it too off, full, or with? Okay, ya. The increase in sales, peningkatan penjualan ya dari serian si VB401 yang terbaru shows ya menunjukkan bahwa pelanggan atau customers are happy with with this product. Apakah bisa? Kalau ini kayaknya aku sering deh dengernya tuh happy. I'm happy for you misalnya, right? Kalau misalnya happy for you, I'm happy for your achievement, congratulations. I'm happy for your promotion. Misalnya it's something related to we're being happy for someone else's achievement gitu ya. Tapi kalau misalnya I'm happy with this product, you're satisfied with the product gitu kan ya. So, I'm happy for your wedding ya, kita turut berbahagia atas pernikahannya. Tapi kalau misalnya happy with this product, it's something related to satisfaction gitu ya with this product. Oke. Itu diikuti verb ya. What do you mean Ibu misalnya? Itu nggak selalu diikuti, ya maksudnya happy to see you. Bisa juga seperti itu, ya itu diikuti verb. Maksudnya kalau dalam kalimat seperti itu bisa I'm happy to see you, ya. Kalau misalnya I'm happy, jadi kalau tadi itu ya tuh misalnya tuh digunakan seperti itu, for digunakan untuk yang tadi satisfaction ya. Sorry, for someone else's achievement. And this one is about the product. Jadi happy with this product. Senang dengan barangnya gitu ya. Okay. What about this one? What is the clue to help you answer the question? We blank with the engineers tomorrow afternoon to discuss the project. Okay, ini bisa menggunakan continuous ya. We are meeting because it's happening in the future, right? There's no will. Jadi memang kalau nggak ada will, maka alternatif penggunaan lainnya adalah continuous. Yeah, we are meeting with the engineers tomorrow afternoon to discuss the project. Kita juga ada kata-kata yang verbs followed by gerunds. We can tell our students that, yeah, these are the words that they're followed by gerunds. Okay. Avoid making, yeah. Okay, right. So these are the things that we can share with our students. Usually mental verbs like, consider, love, like, yeah, enjoy, or even hate. gitu ya, or forget, itu kan nggak kelihatan ya, bukan activities, bukan verb yang kelihatan bergeraknya gitu, but it's state atau stative or mental verbs, right? So, I love playing basketball, misalnya. I love going out to restaurants. She likes playing tennis. So those things are followed by gerunds. Right, so that's part 5, samples of part 5. Now we're moving on to part 6. Okay, Bapak Ibu. So different from part 5, each question is not related to another, but in part 6, actually 131 and up to 134, they are related to each other because they're put in a text actually, right? So I will give you some time to read the text, right, and answer the questions from 131 to 134. Okay, so have you completed the reading? Kita coba jawab sama-sama ya. 2 project leads, ya, from James Pack. Ini bukannya Pak James dibalik ya. Namanya James Pack. Subjeknya training courses to all Pack designs, project leaders. Ini untuk semua project leaders ya. In the coming weeks, we'll be organizing several training sessions for A, interest, B, interest, C, interested, D, interesting. Which one is the correct answer for this? For siapa nih? Interested kah? Ini mayoritas jawabnya C. Ya, it's quite clear ya. It should be C kalau misalnya ini karena kan karyawan yang berminat atau tertarik gitu ya. Several training sessions for interested employees. At Pack Designs, we believe that with the proper help and support from our senior project leaders, less experienced staff can quickly blank a deep understanding of the design process. So is it develop, raise, open, or complete? Apa yang akan di deep understanding-nya tuh gimana? Diapain ya? We believe that with the proper help and support from our senior project leaders, less experienced staff can quickly develop a deep understanding of the design process. Okay. Nah, ini kalau yang kalimat berikutnya adalah apa tuh? Can I hide this? No. They can improve their ability to communicate effectively across divisions. When employees at all experience levels interact, every employee's competency level rises and the business overall benefits. At the same time, ya kan? At the same time, pada saat yang bersamaan, mereka juga dapat meningkatkan kemampuan untuk berkomunikasi secara efektif di berbagai divisi, gitu ya. Alright. The last one. Nah, berbeda dari part 5, kalau yang part 5 itu kan hanya kata aja yang hilang, ya. In part 6, ada kalimat yang hilang dan kita harus mengisi kalimat yang kosong ini, gitu ya. Bedanya sama part 5 itu. Kalau part 5 hanya kata saja, kalau part 6, there will be like a sentence missing in the text. So which one do you think is the right answer to this question? B. Okay. Kan dia bilang ya, for that reason, we are urging experienced project leaders to attend each one of the interactive seminars that will be held throughout the coming month. Ya, kalau misalnya let me explain our plans, nggak masuk ya. Today's training session will be postponed. Ini kan belum ada training sessionnya. Ini baru mau ngasih tahu nih, bakal ada upcoming training sessions, right? This is the first in a series of such lectures. No, nggak nyambung. Jadi yang paling tepat dan menutup satu surat atau memo ini gitu ya. We hope that you will strongly consider joining us. Itu adalah penutup closingnya ya. Okay. Now the last part of the test, yeah, of the whole reading test is reading comprehension part 7. Ada yang single, ada yang multiple passages, and total questions is 54. So imagine that apa namanya, seperempatnya soal TOEIC itu mayoritas ada di part 7 ini, right? So you need to make sure 75 menit yang diberikan kepada siswa, kepada Bapak Ibu, mungkin nanti kalau mengambil tes TOEIC, yang bagian reading itu Bapak Ibu atur waktunya, time managementnya dengan baik gitu. Karena kalau tadi di listening, ya udah 45 menit mau nggak mau selesai selesai nggak selesai udahan gitu. Sedangkan kalau di 75 menitnya reading, Bapak Ibu yang menentukan nih mau cepat mau lambat, um, time managementnya ada di Bapak Ibu gitu. Tapi nanti setelah 75 menit harapannya semua pertanyaan 100 soal itu sudah selesai, right? So again I um, emphasize the needs of doing time management yang baik pada saat mengerjakan part 7. Nah, jenis-jenis pertanyaan yang biasa muncul di part 7 di reading itu ada beberapa. Number one is specific information yang positive. Ya, these are the easiest and quickest to find the answer for. Pokoknya kalau yang specific information positive itu agak lebih mudah, jawabnya lebih cepat karena stated kan usually. And then the second one is vocabulary questions. Jadi sinonimnya apa? Atau ini paling dekat maknanya itu apa sih? Gitu ya. Biasanya begitu. We have also main idea atau harus inference questions nih yang kita harus menerka atau membuat kesimpulan dari apa yang udah didengar atau dibaca secara keseluruhannya. Doing the previous questions types first will help prepare you for this gitu. Okay, what is the purpose of this memo? Why is Mr. Jones writing this letter and stuff? Lalu ada yang lebih memakan waktu, this is most time consuming kind of question, which is specific information that is negative, meaning that what is not stated, which of the following is not true about the text gitu ya, or what is not stated in the text. It might take longer time to answer because Bapak Ibu harus pastikan lagi tadi mana yang disebutkan dan apa yang tidak disebutkan. Itu akan makan waktu lebih lama. This is a sample of single text. Okay, I'll let you read. I'll give you 3 minutes. Hopefully it will be enough. Okay, 3 minutes to read the whole text and answer the questions. Okay, so 3 minutes starts now. Okay. Sudah semua? Apakah sudah menemukan jawabannya? Okay. This is what, if you look at the screen right now, it's an email, right? Refer to the following email. We have 4 questions for this email, right? From owners at roslingardens.com to erkager@eopmail.net. Subjectnya your order 3053, date April 3rd. Dear Mr. Kager, we're having difficulty processing your credit card payment for your order 3053 from that website. Your credit card appears to be invalid. As of now, your order is pending and will not be cancelled. However, you must review your payment information and make sure it is correct and current. To do so, log into your account on our website and click on Change Payment Method. Your order is ready to ship and will be dispatched to the address you provided as soon as we can successfully charge your credit card. Regards customer service, Rosling Gardens. Please note this email was sent from a notification-only address that cannot accept incoming email. If you wish to contact us, please do not reply to this message. Instead, use the chat box on our website. Usually, when you see an article or a text like this, most of your students will only read the body email, usually. Not all the time, but usually. What I want you to encourage your students to do is actually to read also this part, like from-nya siapa sih yang kirim, to-nya ke siapa, ini tuh email buat siapa, dari siapa, tentang apa, tanggalnya tanggal berapa gitu. I know it's maybe not important, but malah kadang disitulah ketemu jawabannya gitu ya. Atau misalnya kayak footer kayak gini ya, this email was sent from a notification only address. Sometimes we don't want to read this, but sometimes the answers can be found there. Yeah, so I just need to remind you that. So 164, why was the email sent? You mentioned B, yeah. 164 is B, right? To report a problem with the payment. Kan dia bilang, we're having difficulty processing your credit card payment. So the answer for that is B. All right. Now, 165, what is indicated about Mr. Kager's order? Apa sih yang kita bisa indikasikan nih dari pesanannya Pak Kager ini? Apakah it has been canceled? No, it's not, right? Karena dia bilang will not be canceled, right? Jadi kita coret tuh, some of the items are unavailable, it's not mentioned, it's said your order is ready to ship. Berarti udah di packing, udah tinggal kirim nih, tapi pembayarannya gagal. It includes an incorrect address, nggak ada di-mention juga, so it's C, ya, for 165. And 166, what is Mr. Kager asked to avoid doing? Yes, D, it's D. Why? Read the note. Dia bilang kan, cannot accept incoming emails. If you wish to contact us, please do not reply to this message. Right? So the answer for 166 is D, replying an email. Now the last one. Ya, ini kalau tadi kita di part 5, di part 6, kita diminta untuk kalimat mana yang tepat untuk mengisi nih yang kosong. Nah, kalau di part 7 kebalikannya. Ada satu kalimat harus ditaruh di mana nih di teksnya gitu ya. Okay, so once there, provide the number of the new credit card. Dibilang gitu kan. Kalimatnya masuk ke mana nih? Apakah ke satu, kedua, ketiga, keempat? Is it B? Ada yang jawab D, ada yang jawab B. Coba ya. Let's try to read it together ya. Kan dia bilang nih delta. Oke. As of now, ini apa sih? Once there, provide the number of the new credit card. Caranya menjawab pertanyaan kayak gini, tentunya kita harus baca kalimat sebelum dan kalimat sesudahnya gitu kan ya. As of now, your order is pending and will not be canceled. However, you must review your payment information and make sure it is correct and current. To do so, coba ya, log in to your account on our website and click on Change Payment Method. Do you think it will be suitable to be put there instead of for? Like, kalau udah nyampe ke change payment method, dia bilang kan, once there, provide the number of the new credit card. Ya kan? Kalau di 4, your order is ready to ship and will be dispatched to your address you provided as soon as we can successfully charge your credit card. Actually, that's it. Udah titik sebenarnya, nggak perlu ada tambahan lagi gitu ya. So actually, the one that is most suitable for that sentence is located in number 3. Jadi dia bilang untuk melakukannya masuk ke akun Anda di website kami, ya kan? Dan pilih change payment method. Setelah sampai ke laman itu, once there, provide the number of the new credit card. Okay? So that's a sample of a single text. Now look at the sample of a multiple text. A multiple text meaning that might be more than 2 texts ya di dalam satu line bacaan gitu ya. I will let you to screenshot this slide, this particular slide. Have you? Okay. If you're done, we can try to look at the questions. Okay, already good. Thank you, Ofinda. These are the questions. Yeah, we have 5 questions for that text. Kalau ditanya what to do sih with this, kalau ada teks yang banyak, maksudnya dalam satu rangkaian itu teksnya ada 3, aduh itu tuh gimana? Kalau saya ditanya seperti itu, biasanya saya akan baca ketiga teks secara cepat aja gitu ya. Ini teks apa sih? Oh ini iklannya, saya tetap baca maksudnya secara runut ya. Ini sepertinya ini iklannya deh gitu ya. Terus ini adalah email karena ada from, ada to, ada email, alamat email ya kan. Ini dibaca semua. Ini sih saya baca sekilas ya, nggak harus detail seperti gimana. Cuman at least saya tahu kira-kira kalau nanti ada pertanyaan, saya bisa mencari jawabannya di teks yang mana. Apakah hanya membutuhkan satu teks untuk menjawab pertanyaannya, atau malah butuh 2 teks, atau malah 3 teks untuk ini tuh jawabannya tuh ini sebenarnya gitu. Oke, kita coba lihat ya. Silakan dibaca pertanyaannya sambil melihat teksnya. Okay, so has everyone completed the 5 questions? Okay, so what is the answer for 196? In the advertisement, the word top in paragraph 1, line 2 is closest in meaning to B, favorite. Okay, so this is checking your understanding of vocabulary, right? And you need to only look at one text. Ya kan? Teks yang pertama aja nih. Okay, because the question is located directly on that text, that paragraph. Okay, number 2, 197. What are Sparky Paint's customer advice to do? Apa yang di-advise untuk para customer-nya si Sparky Paints? Fajar bilang order samples of several similar colors ya Bu. Okay, so where can you find the answer Bu? Where do you refer? Where can you suggest us to find the answers from? Text 1. Okay. Yang bagian mananya nih Bu? Coba kita lihat ya. Kalimat yang mana Bu? Select your top colors and we'll send free samples right to your doors. Last and B. Actual colors may differ slightly from what appears on your monitor. For this reason, we recommend ordering several samples. Yes. Okay. So only look at the text 1, yeah? Thank you, Ibu. 197 is D, order samples of several similar colors, right? What about 198? What is most likely true about order 3397? Apa sih yang benar nih dari 198 apa namanya pesanan 3397? What is most likely true? Apakah itu A, B, C, or D? Kalau kita lihat di sini, D, oke. Kita coba lihat ya. Di si 3397 ada di sini ya, ya kan? Ada emailnya, thanks for sending my order ini. It arrived this morning. Unfortunately, the paint was not the one I had asked for. I selected color SP944 but received 945 ocean waves. They appear right next to each other on your website, so the two may have been confused at your end. Could you send me the correct paint along with additional samples that are close in color ini? That sample worked well in my house. The others look too green on my walls. Thank you. If we see the orders ya, ada dia order summary-nya ini, nama pemesannya ini, itemnya ada 4. Yang ini adalah sampel kayaknya karena nggak ada di size-nya tuh nggak muncul, quantity-nya hanya 1, price-nya 0 ya, oleh karena itu dia sampel. Misty Gray galon dia size-nya gallon, terus ada 2 quantity, harganya sekian. Tax sekian, expedited shipping. Okay, so if we can see here, when you're ready to begin painting, simply select your chosen colors online and we'll ship the paint of your choice to arrive at your home within 3 to 5 business days or within 2 business days for an additional expedited shipping fee. Dan di sini ada nih expedited shipping fee-nya, right? So, yang mana dong? Apakah A, it arrived within 2 business days, B, it included an extra sample. Kayaknya nggak cuman satu kan. Kalau an extra sample, only one extra sample, right? But it has several samples. It was shipped in February. We don't know that. It contained 4 gallons of paint. Sedangkan galonnya di sini cuman 2 aja kan tadi. Okay. So the answer for this is A, it arrived within 2 business days. Nih ya. Expedited shippingnya ada harganya, berarti dia tambah nih additional. Dia bilang kan, or within 2 business days for an additional expedited shipping fee. Okay? Jadi yang benar itu ya. So that's why we need to look at 2 texts. Ada 2 teks yang diperlukan. What color does Mr. Pan indicate that he likes? Warna apa nih kira-kira? Coba kita lihat nih. Kan dia bilang, could you send me the correct paint along with additional samples that are close in color to SP722? That sample worked well in my house. The others look too green on my walls. So SP722 adalah stormy blue. Okay. Okay. What problem does Mr. Fan mention? Ini udah jelas ya. He received the wrong item. Okay. So what I want to understand is that in part 7, yeah, usually what I advise my students to do is to read the whole text. Kalaupun 2, ya udah baca dulu aja 2. 3 ya, usahakan baca 3 agar they can try to menjahit gitu ya. Ini kira-kira jawabannya bisa dicari di teks yang mana? Apakah hanya dari satu teks ataukah malah butuh beberapa teks untuk menjawab soalnya gitu ya. And that's why selain jawabannya apa, I need you to also know where to locate the answers from gitu. Alright. So that would be the end of my session for today. Excuse. So in the reading strategies, reading section, you need to be familiar with the question types, of course. That's what we're doing right now, and how to answers. We need to identify the keywords. You need to understand whether you're being tested your vocabulary or grammar. Practice skimming, the text, the questions, the choices, scanning juga, then locate the information needed, eliminate incorrect answers. So the higher chance of getting the right answer is, the chance of getting a right answer is higher gitu ya. And try to guess. Jangan dikosongkan ya untuk di bagian reading maupun di bagian listening. And how to get a high score, actually what I aim to do is actually for the students to be able to speak the language, right? Jadi bukan hanya sekedar mendapatkan skor yang tinggi, but they will be able to speak the language, to use the language for communication. So that's the idea. And hopefully that's also your plan, your agenda, to help our students to speak the language, to be able to use it for communication, and to be able to work in a globally setting corporate. Okay, so how to get a high score? Of course, make the our students familiar with all the question types, instructions, and how to answer. Try to score on the easier parts dulu, gitu kan ya. Don't waste your time when you're stuck with a question. Move on dulu kalau yang di bagian reading, ya. Jadi nanti ditandain, ada tuh tandanya nanti buat di double check lagi ya. Make English, their lifestyles, ya, your lifestyle, and guess because it's better than 0. All right, so I think Ibu Niar is sharing the link presensi ya di bit.ly/refresher webinar. So please put your names and your school's names in the di presensinya, because we're going to make a certificate based on that data yang Bapak Ibu serahkan gitu kan ya. And we also have examining handbook for you or your students to read before They take the test. Ya, examining handbook ini berisi apa yang saya sudah sampaikan dari tadi. Kayak berapa jam belajarnya, apa namanya tesnya, waktunya, apa yang harus dibawa pada saat nanti ujian dan lain sebagainya. Contoh-contoh soalnya juga ada di dalam situ. Dan di sini juga ada TOEIC sample test. Kalau untuk TOEIC sample test ini isinya lebih banyak ke sampel testnya ya. Ini bisa digunakan untuk pada saat eh, Bapak Ibu ingin memberikan latihan kepada para siswanya. Oke, silakan di-scan atau diklik saja bit.ly-nya gitu ya untuk yang updated examining handbook dan juga sampel test. And don't forget to follow our social media at TOEIC.id and also at itc.id for more information about SMK English Challenge juga di tahun 2025 ini. Okay, and don't forget to share the session International Test Center on YouTube. Juga banyak past videos or sessions that we had with our students. Okay. Thank you, Bapak Ibu, for attending today's session. If you have questions, please, we will have enough time to have a question and answer. Silakan, Bu Nuni. Oke, kalau nggak ada pertanyaan, mungkin kita bisa foto bersama dulu, ya. Boleh Bu dibantu untuk menyalakan kameranya, Bapak Ibu, agar kita bisa melakukan dokumentasi. Terima kasih sudah mengikuti dari awal sampai akhir ya, Bapak Ibu. Hmm. Monggo dibantu Mbak Maniar atau Mas Diar beserta abah-abahnya tentunya biar bersiap
Baik,
Bapak Ibu.
baik kita persiapkan dulu untuk dokumentasi foto bersamanya ya. Ibu-ibu siap ya? Saya foto screenshot. Satu, dua, tiga. Baik, sekali lagi mohon yang sebelumnya belum menyalakan webcamnya bisa dinyalakan terlebih dahulu. Kalau sudah, saya abah-abahkan lagi. Satu, dua, tiga. Oke, baik. Cukup, Bu Dini.
Baik, terima kasih Mas Diar bantuannya. Oke, Bapak Ibu, terima kasih. Apabila ada pertanyaan, mungkin nanti bisa menghubungi customer service kami ya, Mbak Niar ya. Nomornya mungkin bisa ditaruh di chat box gitu, Bapak Ibu. Thank you so much for attending today's session. I hope it's going to be useful and beneficial for you and also for your students. Terima kasih Bapak Ibu. Mohon maaf kalau ada kekurangan dan kesalahan dalam menyampaikan. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.